channel for ears to flow. I honor all the life. Yes, I'm one with Father Time. To every blade of grass, to every shaking leaf on a tree, to every mountain top sings of the glory of God moving through, moving through, moving through, moving through.
I want to put one thing in. At letter B, the first time. In the bar of 9/8, which is bar 31. Pedro, I want you to come out there for that bar.
Okay.
And then come back in on bar 32. So can we try that?
Okay.
What's that for me?
Just the bridge the first time. Don't just,
Well, the first time,
just
right?
do what you do. Yeah, the first time.
Okay.
Just come out for that bar. So let's take it from B. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Every blade. I'm warming up. Every shaking leaf on a tree, every mountain top sings of the glory of God moving through me.
Just the first time.
So you, the first time only. So
I'm
you'll
going-
actually come out in bar 30.
On the CE, right?
Correct. That's where you'll come out.
Okay.
Yeah. That was nice how you hit the symbol at the beginning of bar 30 there, but then come out, and then the bar after the 9/8, bar 32, come back in. Okay? Cool?
The second time, straight.
Second time straight. Play it.
Straight.
Yeah, play it. Yeah, I want it big all the way through the second time. There you go. Good. We good? Any questions? I know it's
Child, child,
I know,
child.
It's just how it worked out. I know. I know what you're gonna ask, and yes, you have to sing everything.
Okay, no, I was asking if it was call and response, but so no.
It's not.
Okay.
You have to. Yes. Who are you? A child of light. What are you? Daily expression of your yes.
Okay.
Please don't. I mean, it's fine to have it there. In fact, don't have the stand in front of you like that. Move it to the side a little bit more to the side here.
Can we after this play Sweet Child of Mine?
Maybe you can move it.
And then Child's is that? Only the children?
Oh man, that's
There's a
funny.
lot of child.
I don't know. I just the way it worked out.
You know what's funny is that the last time that I came here,
It was also
she
child?
did a poem called Child of Light.
I don't know.
It seems to be following me.
I don't know. But I have to say, your
she's
It's
the
like
one
it's
that's.
that tone that like I'm a little older, have a little, kind of stuck to this one.
Is she the one that's kind
Style
of like
singing.
Asian?
Yeah, she's Hawaiian.
Hawaiian. I thought she was Filipino
Maybe so.
because Riviera is not a
So maybe she's Filipino,
yeah.
but I think she's from Hawaii or lives in Hawaii.
Well, the same as Bruno Mars, Filipino, Puerto Rican, but he I think he was
I don't know.
born
He's
in
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican and in Filipino, but he was born in Hawaii.
Does the congregation know this song quite a bit?
No.
Or not so much?
No.
Oh, okay, great.
So you just got to go for it, man.
Alright.
All right, so I'm looking at this now because I only listened to the tune. I didn't look at the chart. So repeat these 4 bars on repeat only.
And what I went with the song, I think those 4 bars turn into 8 bars. If I'm
Right. That's exactly. So we're gonna do this. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are you?
Is that enough, or because we can also go?
Who are you, a child of light? What are you, a daily expression of the light? When is the time? Right now, forever will be where inside of me I'm standing as standing as when I accepted a child of light. Oh, sorry. As one for humanity. When you accept that you are an expression of the life, we will stand as one for humanity. We accept it when it's down. Sorry. We will stand as inside of you. We will stand as one humanity. When you accept yourself as you are, you will be the change, for you are the change. Let us be the change. Standing as one. Standing as one. Who are you, a child of light? What are you, a daily expression of the light? When is the time? Right now, forever will be inside of me, standing as one, standing as one. Ooh, we're standing as one, standing as one. When I accept that I am a child of life, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that you are an expression of the life, we will stand as one for humanity. When we accept that when is now has been, forever will be, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that where is happening right now inside of you, we will stand as one for humanity. When expression of the light. When is the time? Right now, forever will be. Oh, inside of me, standing as one, standing as one. Oh, standing as one. Ooh, oh, I'm sorry, that was my bad. I think I kind of pushed you all in that direction just there.
Yeah, we went with it. The first time. We'll go with you, but let's not do that. That's where it is. One, just the top. 1, 2, 3.
Who are you, a child of life? What are you, a daily expression of the light? When is the time? Right now, forever will be. Where inside of me, I'm standing as one. When I accept that I am a child of life, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that you are an expression of the life, we will stand as one for humanity. When we accept that when is now has been forever will be, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that where is happening right now inside of you, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept yourself as you are, you will be the change, for you are the change. Let us be the change. Standing as one, standing as one. Ooh, we're standing as one. Ooh, who are you, child of life? What are you, a daily expression of the light? When is the time? Right now, forever will be. Oh, inside of me, standing as one, standing as one. Oh, standing as one, standing as one. When I accept that I am a child of life, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that you are an expression of the life, we will stand as one for humanity. When we accept that when is now has been forever will be, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that where is happening right now inside of you, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept yourself as you are, we will be the change, for we are the change. Let us be the change. Standing as one, standing as one. Ooh, standing as one, standing as one. Ooh, we're standing as one, standing as one. Oh, we're standing
the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust it. Let's go up a whole step, a whole step. I'm thankful, so grateful. I have one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. Let's go up a half step. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God.
James, are you gonna be going up like that, or just you're finding the best key?
I'm just trying to find the best key. Yeah. No. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. Yes, so bright. Now let's play A flat minor. 3, 4. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the All right. Let's start there. Let's start there. And I'll just say, let's go up, and we'll just go up to A minor and stay there. So we'll just do those 2 keys. I'm sorry?
What happened with the little key? You're done it with the little key.
I don't know, it feels too low to me. It's too low.
You're a bass player.
Let's do that. A flat minor. Or G sharp minor, as you like. Okay, we good? Of course not. Yes. We're good. Hey, Julie, actually, you know, while you're there, Julie, do you mind? Can we see it, please? All right, let's do it one time. Here we go. 2, 3, so vamp. This is Unity Standard, blah, 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 blah. Yada, yada, yada. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. Roxanne, so grateful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. Sell your body to the night. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God. Let's go up. I'm thankful. Julie, just be ready. It could go any way. Just be ready. I may make it up, man. So, no, I'm not gonna. That was just for us.
Kick snare. Kick snare.
So we end it with, I trust in God. I trust in God. I trust in God. Thank you. And this is the day is the one in the middle, right?
Okay. Shirley, the president's which key?
G. No. C.
C. Okay.
C. And come on in should be an F.
Okay.
Good morning, Unity of Pompano. Good morning. So good to see all of you here. Come on in. All y'all in the back, come on in. We're just going to get started. Here we go. Standing outside the door of love and mercy, you wondering if there's a place there for you. You know there's peace inside, but you're still searching. Someone who understands the pain that you've been through. When the doors are unlocked, lights are on. What are you waiting for? Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. You'll find a place of rest in the arms of spirit. God's waited so long for your homecoming day. God knows the peace you seek and the hurt you're feeling. Spirit wants to hold you and to wipe your tears away. When the Father waits with open arms, God is calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. So this room enough in the house of love for someone just like you. Oh, come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Good morning.
Good morning. I am Lawrence Palmer. I'm half of a duet, and I'm flying solo this morning. Bev, my lovely co-minister here, and your co-minister here, is having an intimate experience with an intestinal bug. So I left her in bed this morning feeling better than she did in the middle of the night, but she sends her love to you and wishes very much to be here, but you got me this morning. So James.
Good morning. I'm the Minister of Music here, James McCoy. So good to see all of you. Won't you please welcome Mr. John Rose at the piano this morning. We have Mr. Pedro Baroas at the drum set once again this morning. And she hasn't been with us for a while, but she's here with us. She's a delight. She's lovely. She's talented. Won't you please welcome Jennifer W. Martin. Right there.
And as always, you can expect an incredible experience of music this morning. Exciting about that. This year, our theme is the exciting spiritual community. And each month we have another emphasis beyond that. So during the month of April, it is the exciting spiritual community where people meditate. You'll be hearing more about that very shortly. Let us join together in our vision statement. Together, centered in God, we create an ever-expanding spiritual community of one. And our mission statement, we are a spiritual beacon of inspiration, abundance, and enlightenment. Let us pray together. Sweet loving Spirit, for this marvelous day and for the opportunity we have to be in this place that we call home, and for our spiritual family members who we look forward to seeing and sharing with, for this amazing capacity we have to think and to feel beyond ourselves, and to be able to love and to be loved, to serve and to be served. And as we open our hearts and our minds, we trust that they will be filled with truth, with light, with all that we need. That light will illuminate that which is within us. So for all of this goodness, we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Amen. Well, this is the first Sunday of the month, and that makes it special because we say so. And we say so because the kids are here. So come on up, kids. There we go. Don't just sit there so I can look at you. How are you? Did you get through Easter okay? You get a lot of candy and stuff? Yeah. Did you get a pet chicken?
I didn't get a pet chicken, but I got
A pet elephant. I never knew you'd get a pet elephant at Easter. Oh, my goodness. When my kids were little, we lived out in the country, and we got them chickens for Easter one time. And they named them Cheep and Chirp. I thought that was funny. Anyway. Okay. Last month in here, we talked about prayer, and I know that you've talked about prayer in Sunday school, some. And this month we're talking about meditation. But I wanted to talk with you about something that really works for both of those things. Have you ever seen anybody doing this? What does that mean? Usually it means somebody's praying. You've probably seen pictures of hands like that indicate praying is going on. Well, down through history, down through the many, many, many years, people have done a lot of things with their hands during prayer and meditation. This, like I said, this is one of them right here, of course. Another one was your hands on your knees with your hands open like this so that you can receive all kinds of good stuff. Some people do put one finger together like this when they pray and meditate, and some people put two fingers together, and some people put three fingers together. For some reason or another, it works for them. Some people put their hands down like this. And some people, I often do this myself, I put my hands over my heart when I pray. And some people might do this when they pray. All kinds of things with it. Now, what I want to encourage you to do is find something to do with your hands when you pray and meditate. Something that's all yours. And there have been all kinds of possibilities. You might want to do this for some strange reason. Or, well, it makes it dark. You don't see things that are going on, so that might help you pray and meditate. Or you do your hands like this, or you do them like this, or like this, some way or another. So that your body learns, and your body is very, very smart. And what happens is when you sit down, like if you decided you were going to do this, which some people do with your two fingers, when you sit down and do your fingers like this, your body says, wow, it's time to pray and meditate. And your body immediately starts being still and lets you pray and meditate. When I do this, when I put my hand here, my body says, oh, I know what's about to happen. We're about to pray and meditate. So whatever you do with your hands, every time you pray and meditate, find something to do with your hands and do it every time you pray. And that helps your body know to cooperate with you and not be thinking about something else and not be itching and squirming and everything else. Your body says, it's time to pray and meditate, okay? So play with that. See which one of those things. Remember we talked about this way, and we talked about this way, we talked about this way, and 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 this way. Or you might do this. Yeah? Whatever works for you. Find something that really feels good and do it every time you pray and meditate. Okay? And that'll be helpful for you. All right? Happy Sunday after Easter. Go. Thank you. And our song is, I Trust in God.
Let's all stand and sing.
2, 3, 4.
This is one of those songs that we got from the Agape Choir out there in Los Angeles. Let's all sing together. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I'm thankful. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. Let's go up. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. So grateful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful. So grateful. I trust in God. Let's sing it one more time. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I trust in God.
Well, once again, I'd like to say welcome. We also like to take time to honor those that are visiting with us for the very first time. So if you are here for the very first time, just raise your hand, please. You don't have to dance or anything like that. Very good, and our ushers will find their way to you. Yes. And we also say a good welcome to our folks viewing by live stream. So do this. There we go. So envy them that they're in their pajamas. We have a lot of things going on around here, but one of the premier activities that goes on around here is prayer. We show that up in a lot of different ways. One is our prayer chaplains, and you'll be introduced to some of them a little bit later. But we have opportunities for you to pray. We have our prayer chapel over here in the hallway down to the fellowship hall, and you're certainly welcome to go in there before service or after service, or if you need to, during service, to spend some time in prayer. If you'd like to have someone praying with you, let one of our chaplains know, and they'll be delighted to share that time with you. And I like to emphasize that with our prayer chaplains, they're not there to counsel you. They're not there to solve your problem. They are there to pray with you, to be with you in that special place. And that's what they'll do, and that's no small thing either. Those of you who had the experience of having a chaplain pray with you, you know what a uplifting and supportive kind of experience it is. Also, in the back seat backs, there's some slips that you can fill out for prayer requests if there's something that you're concerned about for yourself or someone else. Fill those out. You can either drop it in the offering plate, give it to an usher, or drop it in the prayer box out in the foyer. And those prayer slips are taken by our prayer chaplains. They're prayed over here, and then they're sent to Unity Village, where they are kept in continuous prayer for 30 days. So as many ways as we can, we're supporting you in our prayer time. Okay, we have a lot of things going on around here as usual. Today is our ministry leaders meeting at 12:30 down in Fellowship Hall, so I look forward to seeing those of you who are involved in that meeting. And then next Sunday is going to be Sunday session. The second Sunday of each month, I have a class in the afternoon that goes in depth into this topic for the month. I mean, I've got 4 opportunities during the month to preach about whatever the topic is, but there's no way in the world I can cover everything about whatever we're talking about, especially meditation. So on these Sunday afternoon sessions, we look more deeply into the theme for the month, and you get to ask questions. You know, I have had people pop up in the middle of a sermon and ask questions, which is a little unnerving sometimes, but in the sessions, you get to ask all the questions you want. So the things that come to your mind while you're sitting out there during the sermon, you have a chance to discuss in this class. So make your plans for that. Then there's Power Hour going on, the Untethered Soul. Cynthia Roberts is our leader for that. Where's Cynthia? Raise your hand, Cynthia. Cynthia does a great job for Power Hour. That starts at 9:30 over in the fellowship hall, and I always sneak in there close to the end and catch the end of it anyway and enjoy it even that much of it. So that's something you might consider doing for yourself. And then our Tuesday night classes are going to pick up next week, and that we're going to be looking at meditation practices. And again, Cynthia is the primary facilitator for that. And it'll be offered for SEE credit if you'd like that. But 7 to 9 on Tuesday night, you might want to come just a little bit early because somehow food seems to show up before class. And you tend to enjoy that, so make your plans for that as well. Our Book Lovers Club is meeting on the first Wednesdays of every month. Our book this time is The Art of Racing in the Rain. I read this book about 10 years ago, and it's a wonderful, wonderful book. Written, not to, spoiler alert, is that what I'm supposed to say? It's written from the perspective of the dog, so maybe that will intrigue you. Sometimes I think dogs are smarter than humans, so we'll see. So our meeting will be on the Wednesday night. John Spears, our wonderful facilitator for that. We appreciate him and what he's doing there. And then our next Unity Men's Group meeting on April 9th, we'll be watching the movie The Mask You Live In, which is an exploration of American masculinity. I've read some really great reviews of this, looking forward to it. And our theme for our food is going to be Italian. And I will promise you, gentlemen, there will be a dessert there that you've never, ever had before. We'll make the ladies envious, all right? I heard they had quite a few sweets yesterday at the Unity meeting, too, so we got to catch up with them there. So, men, I look forward to seeing you there. Bring somebody with you. Somebody, if you've got a friend that doesn't go to church, then tell them you got this great opportunity to be together with a bunch of cool guys, and so bring somebody with you. Then our women's retreat is going to be happening, and I was told that you ladies, you need to get your money in for the deposit today because we have to make a commitment with the host site to make sure that's all going on. And I was told that, Cynthia, who did you tell me to point at? Sandy Warner, way back in the back. If you have any questions about the women's retreat, Sandy knows everything there is to know about the women's retreat, and she can inform you and let you know exactly what you need to know there. Well, as I said, we've got a lot of things going on around here, and trusting that they will be a blessing to you as you take advantage of them. So celebrate that. Let us stand together now in our greeting and sing This Is the Day. I did do that right there.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Thompson. I'm reading the daily word for today, which is grace. Thank you, God, for your grace. God's goodness flows towards me. I need only be willing to receive. Grace is God's goodness given to you in greater proportion than you give of yourself to God. No matter how far you reach to find God, God will reach further. These encouraging words from The Quest by Richard and Mary Alice Jaffola remind me that I am richly blessed by grace. Grace is not something I earn, nor will it be withheld from me when I make a mistake. My desire to connect consciously with the divine opens the way for me to experience more of God's good in every aspect of my life. I recognize grace in my daily activities as guidance, ideas, strength, comfort, and protection. The scripture that I'm reading from is, "His father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him." And that's from Luke 15:20.
As the prayer chest comes forward, we'd now like to begin a time of prayer and meditation by singing together, "Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place." Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel this mighty power and this grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel this mighty power and this grace. There's a holy house around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
What a joy it is to be in a place where we declare the presence of Spirit. To know that we are enfolded, we are embraced, we are one with that great Spirit of creation. So as we settle into that comfortable and familiar position that you have for meditation, you can give your body permission to relax, to let go, to let be. And with that loving permission, your body will move its attention from the outer to the inner. And immediately your body will relax, will settle into that presence of Spirit. Now, as your body moves more deeply into that consciousness of ease, your mind also begins to quiet down. And all of those thoughts that move so swiftly and serve you so well as you're busy and active begin now to move much more slowly. And you find that very easily you can set aside every thought, knowing that each one of them can be picked up and continued at the appropriate time. But this is a time of being. There's nothing for you to think about, There's nothing for you to do but to be. So as we have prepared by relaxing our body and relaxing our mind in that state of ease, it frees our consciousness, our awareness to commune with Spirit, to be with Spirit. So in that deep place of our heart, that secret place of the Most High, we settle into communion with Spirit. For some of you, that may mean profound stillness and quiet. For some, it may be sound and light and images, experiences. It is your time of being. It is your communion with Spirit. Let it be what it is for you. So having so prepared, let us now enter into that place in the deep part of our heart, and let us be together. Now, as you prepare to move your awareness to your body, to this time in this space, you know that even an instant during which your awareness is immersed in that deep of your heart, that healing and transformation take place. And you know that that light and energy of Spirit that has filled your heart has overflowed into the rest of your body, and every cell of your body has been enfolded in that pure presence of Spirit. So with a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to have this experience and to be together, I invite you to take a deep, slow breath in through your nose and hold it for a moment, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. And then open your eyes as we sing together.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
is at my feet. The wind blows a melody through my hair. I am loved at every turn. I am kissed by Mother Earth. I am a child of this universe. The sun warms me in its embrace. The stars have a light for me in the sky. I am honored by all life. I am held by Father Time. Every blade of grass, every shaking leaf on a tree, every mountain top sings of the glory of God moving through me. Ooh, moving through me. I am a child of this universe. Through my breath, all of life can breathe. I plant the seeds with my every dream. I am loved at every turn. Give a kiss to Mother Earth. I am a child of this universe. I greet the God in each face. I am a channel for ease to flow. I honor all the life. Yes, I'm one with Father Time. To every blade of grass, to every shaking leaf on a tree, to every mountain top, sing of the glory of God moving through all of us, moving through, moving through, moving through, moving through. Moving through all.
It's Jenny Martin.
Very much. Wasn't that smooth? Oh, oh. Our scripture reading this morning is a passage from the Old Testament that you probably have heard more than once down the way. It comes from Psalms 19, verse 14. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. That comes from the King James Version. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable. As you've already heard, we are focusing on meditation this month. And one of the classic books in Unity on meditation is called The Art of Meditation by Joel Goldsmith. How many of you have read it or seen it? Very good. Well, we're going to do something a little unusual for me. I'm going to use the structure for his book as the structure for the sermons for this month. Today I'm going to share with you about the way of meditation. Next week, Bev's going to be up here speaking about the purpose of meditation. The next week, I'll be back with the practice of meditation. And the last week, to wrap it all up, I'll be speaking about the indissoluble union. I did it. I practiced that over and over. Try to say that, indissoluble. But we will come back to that a little bit later. Now, one of the questions that comes up for me with meditation now, as with pretty much anything I study, is where did this come from? How did this experience of meditation happen to be part of our human experience? And it was kind of fun thinking about that and wondering how it happened. Archaeologists have found evidence in the Indus Valley, which is what we now call Pakistan, evident on a wall drawing, people sitting with their legs crossed, with their hands on their knees, with their eyes half closed. What do you think they were doing? They were meditating 7,000 years ago. So this experience of meditation has been a part of human experience for a very, very long time. And it has evolved from where it first started to where we are now. And we're going to be looking at that evolution a bit in a minute. Now, early on, our ancient ancestors, at some point when human consciousness developed to the point of being able to ask abstract questions. I was hiking one time up in the mountains in Colorado. My dog was with me. She was a Australian Shepherd. And we were sitting up on this bluff above the river running down like this, and she was lying in her legs crossed like this and just looking around like a princess. And I thought, I wonder what she's thinking. And then I realized she's thinking, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. There's a bug, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. That's probably about as complicated as her thinking was. That's why dogs don't have ulcers and stress and everything. But when humankind reached the place in the development of our brain as well as our consciousness where we could ask other kinds of questions, where we could wonder about something other than pure survival and existence, and we began to say, what is this all about? Because you look out in the world and you see things that don't seem quite fair. You see things that don't seem quite right. And you see so many things that you have absolutely no control over whatsoever. And then there are things that you do have control over. And these questions began to come up in the primitive mind of humankind. What is this all about? Why am I here? And the looking for meaning and for purpose. And I believe I did a lot of research. There's not a lot of information about the very beginnings of meditation, so I'm going to hypothesize here. This is my idea of what happened. One day, a primitive human being kind of halfway woke up in that what we call the hypnagogic state. Right? You're not awake and you're not asleep. You're just kind of floating there. And something happened during that time, and then that ancient ancestor woke up and said, wow, that was really cool. I like that feeling there. I'm going to do that again. So they deliberately tried to slip into that hypnagogic state, that place between sleep and awareness, and thought, wow, this is really cool the second time. I want to do it again. So a practice was developed of discovering how to move into that place. Or it might have been the result of dreams. An ancient ancestor woke up having had this dream that gave an answer to a question that had been asked. Something that the primitive mind was wondering about, and the dream answered the question. That might have been the beginning of paying attention to our dreams and then paying attention to what goes on inside of us. Or it might have been that one of our ancient ancestors was sitting there looking in the fire. The other night, Bev and I went glamping this week. If you've never heard of that, it's glamour camping. You're in this big tent, about a 20 by 20 tent, has a wood floor, and it's like a hotel room. You have a microwave, and you have a little fridge, and you have an air conditioner, very nice sheets. It's just wonderful, but you're in a tent. And they come along and build a big fire out in the middle. There were like probably 15 of these things around in the middle of this live oak grove. And in the middle of it was a fire pit, and they'd built a fire for us. And they gave us, this is the most ingenious thing. I hope the guy that invented this got filthy rich off of this. But there was a plastic tube about this long, and in it was the making of s'mores. There were marshmallows and chocolate and graham crackers and long sticks with a point on them so you can make s'mores. When I saw in the information that they were going to give us the stuff to make s'mores, I figured they'd throw it in a Ziploc bag and that would be it. It was so slick. But we were sitting, Bev and I were sitting there by the fire, and you know how the fire makes you kind of drowsy, and you start looking, and the flames are going like this, and you wonder, what is that flame anyway? What is that? What is that? And it's so relaxing, and it puts you in that state. You get in that altered state of consciousness. So maybe one of those ancient ancestors was sitting by the fire and all of a sudden realized that something had just happened. And they realized either one of these two things, that they felt like it had been hours that they were sitting there and it had only been a very, very short time, or they felt like it was a really short time and it had been hours. And they said, wow, what happened? I'm going to look into this. So they stare into the fire again, and they have the experience, and they do it again, and they have the experience, and the practice of meditation developed in that. All kinds of theories here about how it happened, but essentially what happened is in the process of humankind trying to make sense of our world, to be able to say, this is what this means, some of our ancient ancestors looked outward into the world, into the realm of phenomenon. And science was a result. They observed things happening in nature, and they said, why did this happen? And the process of the scientific inquiry developed there. Others, instead of looking outward for those answers, looked where? Looked inside and began to look for those answers of what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of my being here? Looking inside in those altered states of consciousness that they experienced in sleep or halfway out of sleep or in staring into the fire, staring up at the night sky, getting into that altered state of consciousness and asking the questions from that place. So we had science develop from outer investigation. We had meditation to develop from inner meditation. Does that make sense? That feels like to me a plausible explanation of how meditation came to happen. And it's important that we understand that so we can do the things that we need to do for us to be able to continue our own experience of meditation. Now, as we look back at history, I was trying to remember which one was first. The first indication, like I said, they found the wall painting some 5,000 to 7,000 years ago. But about 3,000 years ago, they found in the Hindu scriptures direct references to the practice of meditation. So that was the first written example of it. And we know that the Hindus developed meditation to an art. And then the Buddhists came along and did the same thing. And then in the Judaism, every religion down through history has had a spiritual side to it. It's had a mystical element to it. In Islam, it's the Sufis. And in Judaism, they had the Kabbalah. In Christianity, there have been those who are usually called liberals when you become a mystic in the traditional church. But in every religion, there's been that group of people who have looked inside instead of outside for the answers. So all down through history, this began to develop more and more, and here we are today. Now, in New Thought today, you say meditation, and you go, oh, yeah, we do that all the time. And one of the dangers, if you will, in our being so comfortable with meditation is that it becomes commonplace to us, and we take it for granted. We just meditate and don't think that much about it. But this is exciting. We are in a place right now in this modern time with an understanding of meditation that we've never had before. Meditation is being studied by from a spiritual perspective, but it's also being studied from a scientific perspective. You're going to hear more about that through the month. But we know more now about the effects of meditation and how meditation works and the techniques for bringing meditation about. We know more of that than we ever have. And that's exciting. Don't take it for granted. Now here's the punchline, is that our experience of meditation gets deeper and deeper and deeper. If you're a devoted practitioner of meditation, you're going to find that things begin to happen that have never happened before. In my spiritual healing work and energy work, it always excites me to do a healing session because every time I see something I've never seen before. I feel something I never felt before. I experience something I never experienced before. And that always excites me so much to think, wow, I wonder what's going to happen this time. And it's not just a fun thing, it's significant, the things that come up. So here, again, here's the exciting part, is that as you practice meditation, because you're practicing meditation, it's not because you're special, although you are. Every time you practice meditation, you go deeper and deeper and deeper. And if you use meditation for that pure feeling of just being, that feeling becomes more intense. If you use meditation to get questions answered, your questions get answered more quickly than before. Our experience of meditation is going deeper and deeper. And again, we are supported by the world of science. The gadgets that you can use now that really help you get into a state of consciousness where meditation happens, all kinds of things like that. I saw a Far Side cartoon one time, a bunch of guys sitting around a fire. You could tell they were dudes, they had cowboy boots and hats and everything on. And one of them said to the other, boy, this would be a great time to meditate, but I forgot my Yanni tapes. Sometimes there are things that support us, different kinds of music or nature sounds or whatever, that enhance our experience of going into meditation. But there's nothing to take the place of that pure experience of you sitting down or standing up or walking around, however meditation happens for you, and moving your awareness into that deep place within you where there's stillness and where you can see the presence of Spirit. And that can be ever evolving for us. Look how far we have come from that imagined initial experience of somebody saying, wow, what happened? Where now we can sit down and that quick we can be in a state of meditation. And you all have some kind of meditation story about things that have happened. Or maybe you're having frustrations. Here's what goes along with that punchline of things are getting deeper and deeper, is that there are different ways for you to try to experience meditation for you. As I was telling the kids a moment ago about the hand positions for prayer. Do what works. There's some people who think you have to be in a lotus position. If you had to be in a lotus position to meditate, I would not meditate. I would not be able to meditate. And if I did get in the position, I wouldn't be able to walk afterwards. Not yet. Maybe one day, but not yet. So you don't have to be in a lotus position. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to hold your fingers like this. You don't have to be in a special place, although all those things sometimes help. It's not absolutely necessary. You can meditate wherever you are, no matter what. And as we continue to practice meditation, that experience goes deeper and deeper within us. More and more of the truth about ourselves is revealed. And that enhances and supports our spiritual experience as we continue to move along in this life. When we understand more deeply the inside of us, the outside's going to make a whole lot more sense. There's a wonderful little story that's told about a father who was sitting there one night reading the newspaper, and his little girl wanted attention, and he wanted to finish his newspaper. So he saw a map of the United States or a map of the world in the newspaper, so he tore it out and then tore it up into little pieces and said, here, honey, here's a puzzle. Put this together. And I thought, well, I'll have time to finish my paper. In just a minute, she was back and had finished it. And he said, honey, how did you put that together so quickly? She said, well, there was a picture of a man on the other side of it, and when the man came together, the world came together. So when we learn, the more we learn about what's in here, the more we're going to understand what's out there. The more I understand what's in here, the more I'm going to be able to live in the world in a positive, dynamic, deliberate way. Do you ever have a feeling of being a victim out in the world? If you've ever gotten sideways with the law in any way at all, whether it's a traffic ticket or anything else, do you ever feel victimized by that? Not a whole lot you can do about that very often. Sometimes there is. But people feel victimized by that. You go out and drive up to the gas pump, and you don't have any control over what it says it's going to cost you for a gallon of gas. And sometimes you feel victimized by that. All kinds of things out in the world that can do that to us. But if we are in touch with this in here, Papa Charlie called it headquarters. If you're in touch with headquarters, you have a wisdom to deal with what's in the world. When you're in touch with headquarters, you have a passion that lights up you and lights up your world. If you understand what's in here, you will come much more closer to understanding what's out there. And that's a good thing. So again, if you get nothing else from this morning other than this, our experience of meditation is continually deepening. Meditation holds a possibility for the evolution of humankind like nothing else does. And that's just up to you and me. We don't have to wait for science to prove something. A lot of people don't believe things till science proves it. A number of years ago when they started talking about quantum physics and then got spirituality hooked up to it, and lo and behold, some of the things the ancient mystics were talking about, the scientists were now talking about, and then everybody jumped up and said, oh, isn't it great? Look at this spiritual stuff that's true. I love the quote that says that when the scientists get to the top of the mountain, they're going to find the mystics sitting there waiting on them. So you don't have to wait for science to prove something. You don't have to wait for somebody to write a book about it. You, in your personal space, can meditate. You can go within yourself and receive all the benefits of knowing who you are and knowing at least something about the purpose and the meaning of life. And that can deepen with practice. Now, next Sunday afternoon, right after church, we're doing the Sunday sessions. We're going to talk more about meditation, be a lot more specific. Our Tuesday night class is going to be about meditation. Do you think you might have a chance to learn a little bit more about this? We're creating everything we can to support you in that, and I encourage you to take advantage of it. But remember, it's you. You by yourself on a deserted desert island out in the middle of the ocean, you could become fully enlightened, because there you could meditate too. And if you can do it there, surely you can do it here. I believe that. It's evolving. We are evolving. And that is very good. God bless you, my friends. I forgot I had something else to do. This is our time of receiving our offering, where you have the opportunity to support the ongoing work of this ministry. And I invite you to give joyously and generously in supporting this work. What happens around here is supported by you. There's nobody from the outside that does that. It's you. So I invite you to be a part of that. If you happen to give on a monthly basis, or if you give electronically and you don't have anything to put in the basket this morning, I invite you to take one of these green slips out of the chair back. It's a proxy gift, if you will, so that you can put your energy in what's going on here as well. So take that as the others take their checks or their cash, and hold it in your hand. And we're going to bless that together. Julie? There we go. Together. With a grateful heart, I acknowledge God, a source of all that is. Today, I declare good for myself and all others. Good is mine, good and more good is mine, and ever-increasing good is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this good. I feel it, I experience it, I freely give it, and it multiplies itself around me.
Who are you, child of light? What are you, a daily expression of the light? When is the time? Right now, wherever we'll be, inside of me, standing as one. When I accept that I am a child of life, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that you are an expression of the life, we will stand as one for humanity. When we accept that when is now has been, forever will be, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that where is happening right now inside yourself as you are. You can be the change, for you are the change. Let us be the change, standing as one, standing as one, one. Who are you, a child of life? What are you, a daily expression of the light? When is the time? Right now, forever will be inside of me, standing as one. Ooh, we're standing as one. When I accept that I am a child of life, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that you are an expression of the life, we will stand as one for humanity. When we accept that when is now has been forever will be, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept that where is happening right now inside of you, we will stand as one for humanity. When you accept yourself as you are, you can be the change, for you are the change. Let us be the change, standing as one, standing as one. Ooh, we're standing as one, standing as one. Oh, we're standing as one. We're standing as one. Ooh, we're standing as one. We're standing as one. When we accept ourselves as we are, we can be the change, for you are the change. Let us be the change. Ooh. Let us be the change.
That was high level smooth. Thank you, Jenny. My goodness, wonderful. Woo. If you look around the periphery of the sanctuary, you'll see some lovely beings of light standing there. These are our prayer chaplains. And if you have a need that you would like to share with one of them or have them share with you, please go to the one that you feel attracted to, and they will share prayer with you, and that will be wonderful for you. I forgot what I do next now. Where are the kids? The kids back?
I think they're doing an obstacle course over there.
Oh, we'll leave them to that then. Let us stand together. Let's affirm our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment bless you, everyone. Have a great week.